Don't fight it. Don't fight anything. Study it, make choices, and mostly please don't fight your own inner guidance, because part of what's happening with 5D is your inner guidance, your inner signals, and your capacity to read outer signals is truly amplifying. That's what intuition is. Is your body suddenly fritzing out on you? All of a sudden, you're waking up between somewhere 3 and 5 with a jolt, like your house on fire, or are your ears ringing, or do you have sudden aches and pains? You find you just can't be around people much, but you're not breaking down. You're rising, you're leveling up. You're going from 3D to 5D energetic awareness and sensitivity. And today I'm going to tell you all about it and how to navigate this transition to a better frequency in easy steps. So my name's Sonia Choquette. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming. This is the channel where we work on 5D, raising our vibration to 5D, being empowered, manifesting very quickly, working with our spirit guides, being multidimensional, turning on our intuitive senses so that we are fully informed. So this is the one-stop shop for living the highest vibration. Thanks for showing up. And if you are coming back, welcome back. Right now, the world is in a very intense frequency, and it is really asking us all to raise our vibration, and it's helping us quickly because the vibration of the planet itself is raising, and it is affecting our body. So these are the 5 signs that you are, in fact, raising your vibration to a higher frequency that are not so comfortable, but they are temporary. And they're real signs of your growth. The first is one that I think is pretty universal. And that is, unless you're on sleep aids, waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. The reason for this is, aside from the biological cortisol and whatever, this is the place and time in the 24-hour clock where it's the quietest on the planet. So we're starting to feel the connection to 5D. Because of that quiet, we have a lot of downloads and a lot of information. Often when you wake up, if you just sit quietly with a notebook by your bed, you might actually realize, instead, if you're not fighting that you're awake, that you just got really good information. Do you know that I wrote every one of my 30 books between maybe 3:30, 4:30 in the morning and 6, and every one of them was a download. Every one of them was a download that I decided I'm just going to not fight it. I'm going to get up. I'll take a nap later, because such clear information was coming through at that hour when I stopped thinking, oh, I got to sleep, I got this and that. And I just sat with the awareness coming through. So let me know in the comments if you're waking up, but more importantly, what's coming through. It's very important. Now here's another one, and this is one that used to really be in my life intensely, especially when I was a kid, and that is this ringing in the ears. That is the higher vibration. Those higher octaves are hitting on the nerves of your ear, and they're trying to activate, because you know your ears are your most intuitive of the 5 outer senses, because we hear and receive things through the ears vibrationally. So the ringing of the ears, you might just feel like it's your angels and guides calling. So just breathe through it. It'll pass. It's not just random tinnitus. It is actually your angels and guides opening up those internal portals. Sometimes I used to call it dog ears. You know how it's a higher octave? So put in the comments if you had any spontaneous ringing of the ears. Usually when it's the angels and guides, it comes and goes. It's not consistent. You'll just kind of tune something in and then ask yourself, what were you thinking about when that happened? What were you thinking about? I have a client who said he used to have his ears ringing periodically every once in a while. When I asked him what was he thinking about, he said, usually music I wanted to write, but didn't. And I suggested him to start writing whatever, when that ringing of the ears was the guide saying, do it, do it. So he stopped ignoring it, which I find most people do when you get these messages from the guides. And he actually said, okay, at least write down the title or the gist. Well, he took me to heart. I'm really glad. And just what he did is he started writing. So after a while, he found out that he had a real talent, especially for commercial jingles. And that's what he does now. He says the ears don't ring anymore, but the jingles are coming through real fast. Those are kind of the things I was thinking about before. I didn't want to get into being in a band, writing big songs. I just had music in my head. And, jingles work because our subconscious minds remember things best in jingles. So whether you do it for others or not, that ringing in the ears was saying, use that channel to create and manifest. And that's exactly what he did. Another sign that you are raising to 5D physically, and this is one that I'm experiencing right now, a lot of you might experience is, kind of random one-off viruses or illnesses or aches or pains that kind of come out of nowhere. Now, of course, scientifically, you can say it's the germs from your kids or whatever. But in your heart, this is not fully that. And what this is it's casting off old energy you've stored in the body. And by being vulnerable in pain or sick, it just kind of says, heads up, something is trying to release. Now, I was sitting the other day, for example, with my daughter, and she said, all of a sudden, from here to her elbow, from her elbow to her arm, was just on fire. Out of nowhere. She said, I don't know. I didn't lift anything. I didn't do anything. And it really, really, really hurts. She tried a massage gun, made it worse. She tried icing it, helped a little. She tried massage, didn't touch it. And it lasted for 6 hours. And then it went away. And I said, that is your left hand, is that there's something about wanting to receive that was blocked, and that opened it up. So let's see what happens. Now, this is what aches and pains are about often when they are random, and this is a big sign. So if you are having any sort of random physical illnesses or flares or anything, I know my chest cough, this is the 3rd time this year I've had this, is just purging a lot of my own habits where I've kept myself limited. I know that. I'm a deeply loyal person. I'm a deeply committed person. I don't do anything casually, but some things need to go. And I have learned that I hold on to things too long. So this coughing and is just letting things go, and I'm getting it. And the more I consciously recognize the connection, the easier things are. The chest is calmer. So that's the 3rd sign. Random things that just flare. Another sign, and this is a big one, is becoming really noise sensitive. Because part of 5D is, as I mentioned, the ears. Part of 5D is you're receiving and hearing on a non-audible, physically audible level. You're receiving energy and noise, especially noisy places, too many people, noisy news. I was sitting in the airport a couple weeks ago and they had the news on. Every single place where you sat for your gate to get on your gate, it was loud news, loud noise. It was disturbing. So I actually took my noise-sensitive headphones and put them on my ears to muffle it, and then I put white noise on because what was being broadcast so loud was like nails on a chalkboard to me. Frankly, I think it was the nails on a chalkboard to everybody, but they didn't realize it because people were arguing, kids were screaming. Why don't you broadcast classical music? I don't know. That would be a question I would ask airport planners, because do you want everybody worked up when they board your flights? Don't think so. Anyway, monitor the noise. That is really important. Monitor the noise, because 5D can't take it. It's actually a disruption to the spirit. People who live very spiritually centered, grounded lives also live quiet lives, not quiet like nothing's happening, but quiet like drama-free. So noise creates drama in the nervous system, and it's like reactivity and popcorn, and it goes everywhere. I have a client that I am mentoring who has 4 kids. And she had a tremendously disastrous and challenging, painful year because she went through some unbelievable losses and deaths. And she had 4 kids from 11 to 15. And they were so noisy and they fought. 3 boys fought. The girl, high needs. And she said the noise would just send my teeth on edge. And I suggested to her that you can get earplugs that are noise canceling or headphones and just wear them in the house. That way, that high intensity doesn't hit your body. And for 5D people, you become so sensitive. And guess what? It mellows out eventually when you get centered in this new frequency. But she did. She put on the noise canceling headphones and she said, I didn't really tell anybody why I was doing it, but it was obvious. My son said, what are those? I said, they are noise canceling headphones. I need to cancel all this noise. And he was really impacted by that. So he said, well, am I part of the noise? And she said, sometimes. And he said, okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. I'll be aware. And so within hours, his older brother was picking on him. And he said, I'm not going to fight with you because I don't want to cause noise to Mom. So you fight by yourself. And he left. And she said, I never coached any of that. That was a natural response. And then the next day, he came back and said, maybe I would like some noise canceling headphones. I have several families that are bringing this in. And this one here in London was really very happy to give his son noise canceling headphones. So, manage the noise. That's important. Your 5D sensory self, energetically sensitive self is most assaulted by noise. And then the last thing that really is a big indication that you're growing into 5D is an overwhelming urge to spend time alone. That's a very, very big sign that I just don't want to be around anybody. Now, one of the ways in which that might present itself is that you cause fights. Because when you cause fights, everybody goes to their own corner eventually, and then you have to be alone, but then you have to recover the fight. So I would say don't use causing fights as the tactic to be alone. Just know I need to be alone and just say, I'm crispy. I need to be alone. I know I need to be alone a lot. I've always been that way. I'm a middle child of 7. I married a man years ago that was the oldest of 9. Being alone was not even an option. In fact, fun fact for me is I never even referred to myself as I, alone, singular, in my mind and in my consciousness until I was in my 30s. Can you imagine? I was part of we, us, the kids, the group. So being alone for me has been really healing. Now, I'm very social. I love people, and if I'm alone too much, that's not good. But if I am around too much energy all the time, I'm exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And that is another sign that you are moving from 3D to 5D. This is the last one I want to bring to a point, which is fluctuations in energy. 1 minute, you cannot get out of bed. You're so wiped out, tired. And the next minute, you're ready to run a marathon. Next day, ups and downs, because your inner self is calibrating to a higher vibration, and that move up takes a lot of energy. Thus, the smartest thing you can do is sleep. And then once you make that leap, you actually are working with less resistance. That's the benefit of the 5D, is that you can be more present. You're not fighting what is. You can be guided by your higher self and your divine support system very easily, and there's no drag. And if you rest, that transition and recalibration up occurs, but it takes energy. So if you feel like you need to sleep, do. Don't fight it. In fact, one of the smartest things you can do as you're raising your vibration is don't fight anything. Study it, make choices, but don't fight. And mostly, please don't fight your own inner guidance, because part of what's happening with 5D is your inner guidance, your inner signals, and your capacity to read outer signals is truly amplifying. That's what intuition is. Inner guidance. So you ought to pay attention to that. Leave in the notes the signs you are experiencing. Even by acknowledging them in the comments below, you will feel more grounded. It will help you realize, no, I'm not falling apart. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm not too much of anything. I'm just changing vibration. It's a real thing. And I'm going to be loving, compassionate, conscious, and supportive to it. The more you are, the quicker this transition shifts. And on the other side, when you're pretty calibrated to 5D, more than 3D, because we're never going to be absolutely there, life is going to get kind of easy. Actually, that's not true. Life is going to become very easy. Manifestations will come to you. Wear and tear will stop. You won't be caught in the thinking whale and figure it out anymore. And you will find that you're highly guided and can make things happen very quickly. That's the goal. So all this wear and tear and aches and pains is worth it. Share in your comments here with me and with others what's going on for you, because it helps you see it's real, I'm not messed up, and also it's not just me. This is happening universally, and you'll get some support. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked this, please do me a favor and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because it's what keeps it going. And toward the end of the month, I'm going to start a very important series with angels about angels and working with guides and sharpening your inner self. It's going to be very powerful, and you won't want to miss it. Even ring the notification bell. Just a couple of things to do that will help the channel. It will help me, it'll help you, and I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. All my love.